I hate Monogatari, and I'm gonna get to the point right away. As I look at the works of many of my favorite YouTubers and inspirations, I notice a consistent quality of transparency, with their art being an expression of who they are. But, anime guru, how can art be the facial disposition of somebody? You idiot, and it's an expression, you know? A way to show people who you are on the inside. Genetic testing? I don't think gene expression works like that. Maybe the doctors can help treat your numb skull, though. Or perhaps a trip. No. An expression. Can I please just start the video, Donkey Kong? Chill out, man. It's only an expression. Just an Oh. You got into the espresso again, didn't you, Donkey Kuji? Coffee cake, the best damn thing in the world. That literally isn't even a play on words, Donkey Kuji. I flubbed. Okay, I don't think you did. I'm just gonna get to the series now. Please go away. Okay, I think we're safe. I think I can start talking about the show again now. So as I was saying, let's look at a character that many people adore. Tsubasa Hanekawa. Brilliant, gorgeous, pure, altruistic, independent, but that's really all a facade. Well, partially. It's not as though she's harboring any sort of intense malice or something. Well, not that much anyway. Her reputation just prevents her from being able to show all aspects of personhood. She cannot be lustful, she cannot be damaged, and she can absolutely not be ignorant. If that girl gets something wrong, there's a problem with the test. After the events of Tsubasa Cat, where the darker side of her repressed emotions erupted and was placated by kiss shot Accelera Orion Heart under Blade, she is unable to shake the act, and instead LARPs as a changed woman, even going so far as to get a haircut, a fictional trope universally known to signify profound change or loss. Her repressed humanities inevitably bubble up to the surface once again, however, and her insincerity is revealed. She feels unable to be legitimately vulnerable with people and enjoys having a great deal of control over how she's perceived. You know how cats will mask the fact that they are sick or in pain from their owners and end up screwing themselves out of getting adequate treatment? This show is written incredibly well, and I love it, but this behavior in particular I just hold such a special resentment towards. She may not even be fully aware she hasn't made a sincere change, but hair is a cosmetic device styled with the explicit intention of being seen by others. Reminds me of I don't know, fully scripted content. But that's not what we're here to talk about, so I'll move on to our second culprit. Despite being world-renowned for her suffocating cuteness, Nadeko Sengoku is frankly pathetic. A character who hides herself from others. She's unassuming and soft-spoken. Her desires will never be fulfilled, and she's totally okay with that. Like the snake she gets tangled up with, she slithers past her problems, refusing to confront them head-on, and that's why she's granted the power of Medusa, the head of snakes. Now, if she confronts her problems face-to-face, she very literally turns her opposition to stone, so she can avoid confrontation entirely. Long story short, she doesn't know how to act, and has to be stopped by a far more experienced snake of a man. Being pampered by the way she was born. She was born cute. People wanted to help her, they wanted to serve her, they wanted to save her. People wouldn't let her go fully, and that's why she stayed stagnant for so long. At the slightest sign of adversity, something unfamiliar to her, she coiled back and is allowed to stop pursuing whatever it was that may have been troubling her. Like Hanekawa and everybody else in the show, Nadeko loves Araragi. When they meet up for one of the first times in the show, Nadeko screens Araragi with references to obscure media in hopes that he'd recognize them as opposed to gauging any actual chemistry or values. She wants what she's comfortable with. She wants somebody who she wouldn't even have to change the little things about herself for, and the best way to do that is to seek out a romance which could never develop. This characterization reads to me at least as a hard call out towards parasocial behavior. One-way investment in a lifestyle conducive to stagnation, letting you stay inside. The idolization and fixation on these fictitious characters or personas can lead you down a path which resembles a donut. And nothing drives me crazier than the thought that I'm not getting anywhere. As an anime fan, this call-out is, pretty direct and frustrating. Ready at any moment to shut anybody down with her scathing retorts and literal blades, She struggles at first with a strong dependence on escapism. Okay. Stop calling me out, you douchebag! Okay. I'm not getting anywhere with this. I'm sick of taking it character by character here. The camera in this show is super zoomed in, the focus is super tight, and I'm a big picture thinker. Yeah, that's it. So let's just talk about the man behind these characters. Nisio Isin. I mean, he's pretty much a Monogatari character. The Monogatari character. And that title, of course, chiefly entails a obtuse and highly confusing manner of communicating, which checks out. Monogatari is, among many other things, a direct address to its audience. Nisio Isin mentions fascination as being the evolved form of moe in one of the first episodes, or more specifically, the desire to see the mechanisms behind why something works, rather than merely appreciating the final product. But sometimes a look behind the curtain is painful or embarrassing. Nisio Isin's desire to truly understand anime phenomena and anime fans leads to many of these arcs being almost awkward for me. Liberally breaking the fourth wall and speaking directly about topics such as fan service make it crystal clear it's like some sort of conversation with the viewer. The way this strange intimacy clashes with the plots, which are thoroughly submerged within tropes and absurdity, is an incredibly iconic part of the show to me. Meta as balls, some would say. And this contrast paves the way for what makes the show so special. Art as a communication of yourself and art as purely a means of storytelling are two distinct things, but Nisio Isin shies away from neither, with his show being so heavily steeped in anime culture and tropes as to be escapist, but still so true to life. It's like he's cracked the code on how to communicate with this bizarre subset of people. For me, it's frustrating, because it's just so hard to spin any analysis I have on this series into a grander message. Nisio got me, I guess. He's just too meta. Too self-aware. These characters are almost like politicians. Their outward personality is so intricately woven, and the ways they go about actually solving their problems are so incredibly roundabout and shrouded in intentional misdirection that it's inaccessible to the average person. And these conversations they have are like debates. Much like debates, it can cause things to take way longer than they need to gain any traction. Of course, the spirit of debate is highly noble, allowing the filtration of good from bad ideas through having them broken down into terms and components which just so happen to be accessible to the layman. Really though, it seems manipulating the audiences through meta techniques derived from the act of debate itself has become its primary contribution to public opinion. There's no honesty, and it constantly keeps you on your toes, at an arm's distance. Nisio wants to strip things down to their absolute core, but still isn't above reveling in the pretty colors and witty banter. Maybe his lack of discrimination against this simpler entertainment is more than a mere mentality of resignation, however. Maybe, just maybe, it's the point. It's definitely not the point. With meta, there's no thinking forward, only up, forming an ornate tower brick by brick destined to crash down even harder than any other rogue bit of rubble. Meta is almost a defense mechanism, a way to make an idea or a moment bulletproof, to make it more and more secure and further anchor it to reality in more unique ways. But really, this causes a giant problem, because it makes things so much more difficult and time-consuming to accurately critique. If somebody critiques a show like this, and many others of its ilk, it will be met by the fans with a lack of credence. That's the point, they'll say. The series is aware of this, it's commenting on this. And it is, but I think it's important to consider the possibility of getting stuck within meta. Mayoi Hachikuji is a dead girl, deluding herself by remaining among the living. She never wants to graduate on to the next stage of life, and she takes great comfort in where she is now, a wanderer with nowhere to go and no progress to make. She knows what she's doing, but she keeps it to herself, distracting from that reality so no one can ever catch on. The writing of this show is just so radically self-aware, but if the characters I talked about earlier have anything in common, it's that they beg the question to me. Is being self-aware of your problems even any good? Tsubasa was able to use the awareness she had to further mask her problems, and it allowed them to fester. And Naniko's shame for acting the way she does only made her less motivated to sprout into a more independent and social person. Personally, it can seem so hard to even identify whether I've really learned from the hang-ups this series has so directly addressed within me, or if it's just armed me with a way to further mask and perpetuate them. I'm really trying to make the inside of my brain public with this channel, but Behind the veil of unlimited time to edit, restructure, and workshop lies a cluster of truths totally unreachable to any viewer. What I've personally been reminded of by writing this video is that I can't let expressing myself to others satisfy my desire for progress towards understanding myself, because that expression can always be more strongly influenced by lesser desires than I realize. There's great utility in being open, but at the end of the day, of course, only I can help myself. If only in real life it would be as simple as seeing a physical manifestation of your psychological turmoil, and I wouldn't have to feel like I'm wrestling with a ghost here. After all, characters in Monogatari struggle with their demons, but come out the other side as an improved person, most gracefully Hitagi. I just wonder something. If I'm so like these characters, what would my aberration be that I need to make peace with before becoming a complete person? I mean, obviously it's stupid anyway, it's just an anime after all. It's not real life, but whatever. What do you mean by that? Wait, why are you still here, Donkey Kuji? Where else would I be? I don't know, at your house or something. What do you even do? House? I guess not much. Well, at least you're aware and honest, Donkey Kuji. Guru, who am I? I don't know. Just please go away.
I am the Nordic gamer, Chad, the Giga Chad Wojak.
You're the virgin, and I'm the Chad.
I'm actually not a virgin. Your mom can attest to that.
You are the globalism fan, and I am the patriotism enjoyer.
A better analogy would be that I'm the rare Pepe and you're the small crying people.
You're Apustaya. You're a small crying Apustaya. I am the based and red-pilled Groiper.
That is not true.
It is true.
No, you're not based. You are actually cringe.
No, I am based and red-pilled.
I'm sorry to all the Kanbaru fans out there that I didn't mention her. I haven't watched this show in ages. Maybe she'll get her own video in the future to make up for it, because every character in this show can be analyzed for hours without running out of things to say that are of substance. Either way, I'm on to the next one, but before I go, video. Want me to make you a video? I'll make one every month. Go do my Patreon. Enormous shoutouts to my patrons already, which are Sumgoon, Godfather, Trey, and Hermit's Nook. You guys are cooler than everybody, and thank you guys all for watching.